So, who knows about Services Inc.? Raise hand. No, no, not you. No. What are you doing with the promotion of our commercial arm? So you remember that some time ago, when I was a kid, and I just entered in ICMCI, ICMCI was not a Swiss verein, as we are today. It was a NGO which was registered in a very strange area of United States called Delaware. And up to 2008 was that situation. When we said, okay, we need something to be a little bit different, easier, so we transformed ourselves into a Swiss verein. I wasn't part of that. While we started, you saw yesterday what Philip has presented regarding the money that we need to create without asking more money from our members. So let's start some commercial. And this is how we said, okay, but we need a vehicle that is going to create and generate some revenues for ICMCI, which is okay. It's something that me, like a former treasurer of ICMCI, I'm still damaged by the reactions of our members saying, okay, you want more money from us, but what's the added value? Or, as Lydia is saying, what's in it for me? So we have taken the decision to, we meaning ICMCI, nobody else from outside, to establish the Services Inc., which is the commercial arm of ICMCI. Do you start to remember this thing? Because I've seen on your face, not you, Ruggero, don't say yes. I'm looking at the other delegates. That's another problem. When I was a chair, one of the biggest problem I had is to make the delegates to be more active in relationship with ICMCI, but also to transmit what ICMCI is developing to our members, because they are the linking point between ICMCI. I'm using us, but I'm not anything in ICMCI now, so it's us like a group here and our members. We made an assessment where to put that arm, looking at taxes, looking at easiness of registration, easiness of operation, which was the problem that determined us to establish Services Inc. The problem was the moment when some Dutch banks, due to our bad behavior in some previous relations, I don't know, we don't have Dutch in the room, so I can say something, but I'm not going to enter into details, said we cannot operate anymore with Swiss-based entities. So we have been sent out from our traditional place, which was ABN AMRO. The fiscal authorities in Netherlands chased me immediately after I became the guy with the signature in the... They thought that we are FIFA, but there are few zeros missing at the end of our figures if you compare with FIFA. FIFA is the Football International Federation Association. So we had in that position the capacity to collect little money, meaning you can pay by card. And when we moved to Switzerland with our bank, the missing of the zeros at the end of our figures generated some problems, in the sense that nobody offered us the services to collect money via online bank payment, card payment, and so on. And we started to think what to do, and this is how we reached to the Services Inc. I'm making you the full story because otherwise you don't understand what's on the, don't understand perfectly. You understand something, but I want to give you the full detail. I hope to be in good shape that next year I'm going to ask you again, do you know what Services Inc. is? And you are going to raise, everybody's raising a hand and saying yes, we know. And let's hope that until that moment we are going to have also to show you some money on the table, and you'll be happy to have maybe a glass of water from the money that ICMC Services Inc. is producing. So we have an assessment where to go, and we, as a group, decided to go to Delaware due to fiscal reason and apparent easiness to get what we want. We have established the Services Inc. with the great support of ICMCI, of course, which is the only shareholders with this entity, which is a limited company. We have asked for some money to run the business, which are in the equity, and there is also a loan. You will see there is an audit report, I suspect that you have read it, that includes also the Delaware entity. We have been very enthusiastic. We said, okay, we have not academy, it's academy, but it works quite well. And this seems to be what we can do. We have a very good experience. We have done a number of trainings under ISO 20700, which were quite successful. So it's something that we know to do it. And this, of course, doesn't work because this is absorbing the light, so we cannot show anything. So we have a first product. Then we said, okay, we can establish an academy. Academy is going to teach the eager consultants all over the world a lot of good things and bring them up to date and keep them. So let's develop something. And Rima put a lot of effort with some other people. I like to mention not only the board of which didn't do anything, actually. The board in general is supervising, is not doing something. But Dwight was very active in that, and we have a competence framework training set up, which is still in progress. Why is still in progress? Because it's an open book. It's not something that ends now and then start. The second type of, so this is the first type of business that we are willing to do with Services Inc. The second one, we can organize via it events. The first event that we have in mind is the International CMC Conference that we have organized here, but we can do it in a different way using the tools. First of all, the most important part, now we are commercial. It's not anymore about profession and ethics. It's about money and profit. We want to collect the money. And of course, take care about their spending, that's another story. And this is what we want to do, is not only us, but also to support our smaller institutes to organize things, including trainings, they are also there and so on. We have asked our executive director, it's wonderful that we have an executive director, so we can push somebody to work. The problem is that there are too many pushing them to work, and too many just sitting outside, like myself now, and criticizing, which is the easiest thing. So, nah, not good, not fast enough, whatever. We have to contribute somehow a little bit more. Not a little bit, a little more, bit more. We have started to build a business plan, and always we stopped because we didn't know how it's operationally functional. And we had a problem, you see, it's a but there. Actually, was not in the initial presentation, was added 2 days ago. Because we have to tell you the full story. We were not able to set up until today the online payment system. Why? Because Delaware seems to be a tax heaven, and it's relatively easy. So you have an accountant, you have a lawyer, you have a tax, the guy which is actually the accountant, it's filling in also the tax declaration, and that's it. The problem is that when you go to the bank, okay, we have a bank account, but we say we want to have this. You need a provider to help you with the online payment, and that one, in that moment, it starts the nightmare. Rima? Rima? She's outside. Kuzaima, no, sit there. No, you answer. How many online payment service providers have we tried until now? Stripe is the third, I think. And everybody's saying, yeah, it's nice. Do you have an American, a US phone number? Okay, let's try to do it somehow. Who is, okay, we have the, no, but you have somebody from your organization to be there. It seems, this is now linked to what Mr. Nicholas, I like that very much, Nicholas, said yesterday. We feel that if we don't solve it now, we have to simply scrap the Delaware operation and to go into a place where we can do it, even if the taxation is going to be higher, but we need to make it function. I agree, I tend to agree with him. By the way, why I'm talking here, because I'm sure that you haven't read the documents. ICM, the Services Inc. has a board, and they said, okay, you are old enough to the organization, the people seem to trust you. I have 11 votes to cast. Let's put you as chair of the board. I'm not doing anything. I'm looking at these guys. I'm not criticizing because they are nice people, but that's why I'm talking to you now. So, if we cannot make it now to function, now meaning till the end of the year, we cannot do what we want to do, is to start being functional at the end of first quarter 2026. We are prepared to launch everything. So I think that at the beginning of the year, we are very close to launch everything. We had the picture, we had the content, we have I think that we have a number of courses, of training courses to be sold. And technically, we are ready to start if we have the payment. Most probably, first time I'm going to pay 5 euros. Nick is going to pay 5 euros via online, and we are going to listen each other into a training course. We all decided what to talk about. However, if technically we solve the problem, if don't solve the problem, the only option, Nick said it, but I'm saying it once again very clear, is to abandon this option and to go to a place where we can handle that immediately and so on. Netherlands would have been the best, but we are a Swiss variant and that's it. We don't want to change. You know which was the reason to move from Delaware at that time? Was because we haven't had a real, again, a secretary, a person there to take care about us. And second, we said that Delaware doesn't look very good for registering a professional association which is professional and ethical. So I think that I remember this discussion in, for the, I don't see, maybe Shinliat, in Dublin in 2007. I'm not sure that you have been there. Okay. After it's functioning, we see that it's functioning in terms that the money are into our bank account. The rest is functional for sure. I don't have any problem. We intend to start a couple of trainings on ISO. It's something that we know very well. It's again a test and to see which are the IMCs willing to do that. We have prepared also a scheme how to partner with the IMCs, because it's obvious that we cannot simply ask them to promote us and to bring people without giving something in exchange, which is okay. Since we are not sharing real money, we are sharing just dreams, it works. We are preparing the list of, we have already a short list, but it's going to be longer, of further trainings. And of course, if we want to support development of events, we have to be able to ensure that management. With the wonderful Secretariat, Executive Director, and Kuzaima, I think that they are already 120, 125% charged. So I don't think that it's good to do that, because it's going to be a collapse twice. Once they are going to give up and say, we don't want anymore. I haven't said that. Don't look at me so badly, okay? And second, we are trying to reinvent the wheel somehow. So for sure that we are going to need some real support. However, I'm coming to, I don't like this word, however, in English is very, very bad, but wakes up the people. I'm coming back to what Mr. Nicholas said yesterday. The second problem that we have is the marketing. Yeah? I'm putting the problems on the table because we are not going to solve them today, but I hope that next year when we are going to have the same discussion in another level, to be very well prepared to say, yes, we are doing that way and we can help in this way. This is the result of a very hard work. The English language is very interesting. I'm not a native English speaker, but I like it very much. So this is hard work, or this is hardly working. We can think a little bit on the subject. Anyway, so we have a scheme how to share that, which is the 3 wins there are real, so it's not only a typo. Because we talk about ICMCI, we talked about the IMCs, and we talk about those which are really providing the training. We don't intend that we are going to make the training. I don't even like that. And you see some schemes, you are going to see this is something that will enter into a negotiation process in the moment. Today, we don't know how much of the portion of ICMCI is going to be covered by the operational cost, because we don't know how it's going to function in terms of collecting the money. We are going to learn very fast. Anyway, that's the encouraging. So prepare to make money. And some of them are just thinking, let's prepare to take the money, not making them, it's another problem, but taking them, it's our problem. We expect to deliver, and if not, quoting Nick, that is not something organized. We don't have Nick in the room when I'm mentioning that. But if we are not able to do that, we have to take a radical decision. Because otherwise we have wasted a lot of resources. I don't want to think how many times the 3 nice persons over there, okay, one is nice, the other 2 I don't bet, but have put how much effort they have put in it's very serious what I'm saying. Why you are laughing?
It's the nice that made us laugh.
He's a very polite Italian, which is very unusual again. We will start, if it's functional, we are going to start to see which IMCs are interested and to start to negotiate with them the scheme. Maybe the scheme is going to say, oh no, for 28% for this, I'm not doing anything. I'm not waking up in the morning for that percent. We have to find out. What we thought or what we put on the table, I think that in our opinion was, okay, let's be more open and give more to the IMCs than what we get. We don't want to make a fortune from that, but we want to start making it, because if it's making it, then you have the snowball rolling. Do you have snow in Singapore except the artificial? No. Okay. It's like any other action that ICMCI has developed since our breakthrough strategy in 2009, introduced in 2010 in Main, a very nice resort somewhere close to the Dead Sea. We said that without the IMCs, we cannot do anything. We have 2 persons hired and a bunch of volunteers, which you know very well that to control volunteers, it's something that you have to go to church once a week at least in order to hope to have some results. So we have to look at that. The world of today is very complicated. So you see some letters that maybe you don't understand. GDPR, General Data Protection Rules. You haven't seen, but it's a lot behind the story with the Stripe, is the anti-money laundering. That's why I'm looking when I'm going to get a letter from my fiscal authority asking what are you doing with the money from Delaware, where you are the head of the board, okay? I'm sure that it's going to come in a few months. As the fiscal authorities of the Netherlands ask me if I move to Switzerland. Okay, so here, this is the actual situation where we are. You'll see that we spend money and we haven't delivered formally anything. In reality, we have delivered something because we have organized something, but I don't know. I think it's reflected. It's a very small amount reflected in the incomes of Services Inc.
Yes, it's in fact, the income is the result of the organization of the virtual Asia-Pacific Hub in 2024. That was organized by India, and that went through ICMCI Services Inc.
So if you can organize that 4 times a year, it's very good. What I want from you is to understand where we are, to think in line with what we are planning to do, and for the time being, I'm still, after 2 or 3 attempts unsuccessful to get a provider for online payments, I'm not going to advance anything, but most probably we are going to find something till the end of the year.
Maybe I just had something. What was the breakthrough in the payment history, in the payment story, was that we were attempting to use, in fact, Reema's telephone numbers in Jordan, which were, so to say, problematic for Delaware, whereas the lawyer advised us to use name, telephone number, and address of one of the board members. I happen to be the one. So we are still waiting, but the address is now in Switzerland, the telephone number is in Switzerland, which is consistent with the fact that we are a Swiss verein. And that made us, let me say, go past at least the first couple of hurdles. We are waiting for a final answer, but when, according to the lawyer, there shouldn't be any problems now, since it's a board member giving the guarantee, and the country being consistent with the country where the shareholder of Services Inc. resides. Yes, please.
During the process, we used numbers from Jordan, mine. Then we switched into numbers from the US. We used addresses in the US, and all of those were declined. However, one of the major issues that we're facing now is the laws of banking in the US and the countries that have restrictions. So that is where we are at now. and that is what we need to deal with in order to get the online payment. So we're still waiting.
But I mean, the restrictions, you have them anyway, because it's the worldwide payment system that is set up in a certain way. So wherever we are, if we try to process a payment from, I don't know, Zimbabwe or so, it's going to be halted somewhere along the chain. So that issue we are not going to solve wherever we are in the world.
So what you are saying is that the worldwide payment system is not worldwide.
Yes.
That's exactly it.
I've told you, it's a very polite Italian from Switzerland. Okay. So that's it where we are. Have a look. Remember that. Be prepared when we start. Okay, let's organize something. If you have ideas to share with the others, so have training courses that you can give to the others, we are going to welcome that. Any other ideas? So training and event organizing is the first step, but we can act also as caching agent for our IMCs, which are organizing events via us. There are many other things. The list is a little bit longer. If you look at the previous year materials regarding Services Inc., you are going to see that there was a longer list. We haven't abandoned that, but we are still looking for the moment when I can pay by card €5 to the budget of Services Inc. You are thinking about 15? Okay, we'll discuss.
Just to add something, I think that what is missing on this line, I mean, we can read it between the lines, is that some of our academic fellows can provide very interesting material for training courses in new techniques and let me say, to use a very much consulting-like expression, thought leadership. And that is what can give the ICMCI Academy its added value within the worldwide consulting community. But we need that input from you. It's not around this table or the board that the input is going to come. So ask around, talk to your academic fellows, and see what kind of content could be used for the ICMCI Academy. And then, I mean, the percentages we can work on. This is just an initial proposal in order to avoid the blank sheet of paper.
Now, I'm sure that if we are going to ask the academic fellows come with training, they are going to come. But the problem is who is marketing that? How you are going to have the participants into that? So that can be done only with you. And of course, most probably we are going to discuss today a little bit about how we are going to improve the visibility and the marketing of ICMCI in general, not only specific to that. So they are going hand in hand. Easy to say, very difficult to achieve. Please.
On the agenda, it's called panel discussion, so that we don't have a panel, but we have a discussion.
That's obvious.
And that includes different views. And you are trying to be a very nice guy, and you achieve to be a very nice guy. And for my person, I don't need to be a very nice guy. And I love to be it, but we don't need to be nice in that respect that ICMCI Services Inc. is working only without the contribution of the IMCs. This is not correct. And that's, I think, we need to consider. We have 200 countries in this world, and in 50 countries we have an IMC. Less than 50 countries. So there are 150 countries where we are totally free to operate, and we will be operating in these countries. And if the IMCs want to benefit from the Services Inc. and we really want to have this situation that the IMCs are benefiting, but we are not depending on that. We will make revenue and we will make profit in Hindi, 150 countries on this world, without the support of the IMCs. Because we have the Global Institute in place, the ICMCI Academy is a global tool, and it is intended to be active in countries where we do not have IMCs. This is why the first 2 or 3 countries where we will be active will be countries where we don't have IMCs, like France, like Saudi, and so on and so forth. And this is a major pile of Services Inc. But I think if we want to achieve strong IMCs, having more and more members, addressing more and more potential members, and reaching them, this is the perfect tool to do so. We do the promotion, Services Inc., and this is where the workflow to the management of the membership is so important. We need to know who is a member in the IMC because they get a rebate, and non-members don't get a rebate. So if they become members, it's cheaper than if they were not members. That's the basic approach. And I think we all need to consider that Services Inc. Is a tool. This is why it's the win-win. Actually, it's win-win-win-win. It's win for ICMCI, for the IMC, for Services Inc., for the training experts, and the consultants. Everybody should win. And it will be very tricky. We don't have any experience. We don't have the ability as an organization, like strategic consultants would call it, to deal with IMCs on this level. We need to build on that, and we need to invest time and many resources, not in terms of money, but of knowledge, to learn how do we set up our relationship on a business level, including the technical implementation. It sounds very easy. Everybody would say, okay, everybody's doing that, but for us it's totally new. And this will take years. I'm 100% sure if we start today to negotiate with one of the IMCs and set up an agreement, I'm 100% sure it will not be in place working and operational working in the next couple of months. It will take at least a year. So prepare to benefit means we need to start now. Even if the academy is not working, I'm 100% sure we will find a solution. But I'm also sure if we want to have this relationship established in the way how it is intended to be established, we need to start now. If we start when everything is fine and everything is ready, then we will have the first benefit for IMCs, let me say, in 2028. And I would like to witness the first transaction to IMCs with my own eyes when I'm active in ICMCI. And 2028, most probably, I will not be active anymore.
Why not? Why not?
I'm too old.
Lydia has a question.
I am actually, thank you so much, Sorin. You're always very good at starting new projects. I'm just seeking for clarification to understand better because it involves the IMCs. And I do care for the IMCs, definitely, as Asia Pacific Hub Chair, and I want each IMC to be a vital and value contributor, whatever level. Now, in terms of the subject matter, are we able to identify what are the causes we have in mind? Because we need to give clarity to the IMC. Or are we expecting, I'm just seeking for clarification, or are we expecting the IMCs to come up with causes which are relevant in their own country or even at a global level? The other thing is, are these courses going to be online? Cannot be in person because basically, all the IMCs are worldwide, so it's got to be online. But I think we need clarity for the IMCs to be able to identify the courses. And I think one of the sources of identification of courses, which I think is an excellent suggestion by you, is the academic fellow. Can someone who is in charge of all the academic fellow worldwide call for a meeting and ask the academic fellow, come on, what can you contribute? What is your specialty that you want to contribute to share knowledge with the world? Because for each IMC to be able to, approach their own academic fellow, I think it's not going to be helpful and impactful at all. So if somebody is leading the academic fellow, maybe it's Simon, I don't know, Simon, call all the IMC and say, the academic fellow, let's talk about it. What can you contribute in your specialty? So in that case, you will get a list of all the courses. Because I think clarity is important before we even share, talk about profits, about sharing information. Yeah.
I'll answer you, Lydia, and thank you because that clarifies things. The type of courses will be driven by what the consultants need. Now, as ICMCI Services Inc., we would start with what is available with us. Excuse me? Yeah, Lydia. We will start with what is available to us, okay, in order to be able to launch. So we will start with the ISO 20700, and we will start with the ethics course, which is the CMC, okay? And after that, during the discussion with the different IMCs, they each know what their consultants need. Definitely, it has to be material and courses that are related to the profession. It shouldn't be something that is not related. That's number one. Number two, we would do our own surveys, if I may say that, in countries where there are no IMCs through the GI, in order to also gather what is needed at this point in the different markets by consultants, as well as what is needed by clients, because the subject matter needs to be enhanced at the consultant's level with regards and in relation to what is needed in the market, okay?
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
We talk about the hot button issues, sustainability and AI. Can we try to upskill, these two areas to all our consultants worldwide? Can ICMCI come up with courses on sustainability? In Singapore, we have really started, but I think knowledge is never limited. We have to keep on learning.
Definitely those will come up as
Lydia,
subject
we can
matters.
do everything or anything. The problem is, for the time being, is to start and then
Yes. No, but
to make sure. We have 2 white papers, yeah? Those white papers are extraordinarily good basis for 2 training courses without any
Yes.
problem. So the answer was already there. You ask a political question, I would say. However, what nobody has asked is, what about the language, which is a problem.
Exactly. May I finish the answer?
So this is what we say, that what I'm very happy that all the questions that you have raised were discussed several to many times among us as a board, and I think that we have solutions and answers to all of them. So we not hardly working, but we have worked hard on that, just to come back.
So to finish Lydia's question, the other question that you put on the table is, will the courses or will the training be online? And that is a definite yes, because it's through the platform. And the future for it is the multilingual part. So if someone from Singapore wants to provide a training, and we know that it is asked for in Singapore specifically, then it could be in the national language, but that is yet to come. Let's first test, let's first launch, let's gather the interest, let's understand better what the market needs, and then we start building on this step by step. With regards to your suggestion about the involvement of the academic fellows, actually Simon started the homework already. He and I discussed it, and what was sent to all the academic fellows is to provide us with what publications they have in order to, number one, when we launch the website for Services Inc. to include the academy, we will also have some sort of a dedicated area to promote the books, the research, the papers that are done by our academic fellows. And of course, knowing what type of books they have, what's the subject matter of each, then we would be able to understand better what kind of courses we can diverse into, who can provide what, and that would be the next stage. Now we're in the data gathering stage, okay? Okay, thank you.
Oh, hi. I think I met all of you. I'm Raymond Tan, representing New Zealand. We, in our country, I'm not sure, maybe it's just unique to us. We are facing the challenges of declining membership, and training was one of our strategies we decided 2 years ago. And the courses that we provide are provided by our own members, senior members. There's probably, we could see advantages of doing that, and that was to get a few more new members, get people interested in learning more about the members that's got specific skill sets like sustainability, value-based, etc. So it was really good that Robert raised the point because I was quite confused at one stage. But you made the point that there are 200 countries in the world and we've only managed to reach 50. But I'm sure, the consultants of these 50 countries probably operate in the other 150 countries. So having something centralized is fantastic. It's an absolutely fantastic idea. And I guess from my side of the world, near Australia, New Zealand, which we usually work very closely together, is to know how it could benefit us. Sorry for being a bit selfish, but it's really, how is it going to benefit us in this global approach? And one of the things I came to mind, which is, again, it's related to other organizations where it's almost like a franchise system, right? And you talk about those numbers there, and yes, there's still room for more discussions. There's two strategies pretty much. ICMCI is trying to target the 150 countries as part of it. IMC has got its own internal strategies in different languages for different members, different focus of different countries. Perhaps there is room to actually have mutual benefit. So that's my point, that's all.
Nothing contradicting what we have said and what we have in mind.
And if I may add, what would the benefit be to you? It's LMS driven, so it's not online with an instructor delivering the training. So anyone who's interested in any of the courses, and this is talking about the academy specifically, anyone can attend the training at their own time. Okay, so the course is there, the time is flexible, and if they're interested in the subject, then they can enroll. That's one thing. The other thing that Services Inc. can provide, other than the academy, is the event management, the payment link, once we get over that hurdle, and of course, the secretariat service. So if there's anything that needs to be done at IMC New Zealand or IMC Australia where you do not have enough resources, then the resources of Services Inc. would you can pull those in and benefit from them. So it's many benefits that could be.
Thank you. With regards to payment system, we've been using it for almost 15 years now. No problem in New Zealand dollars or even Aussie dollars or even other currency. So in terms of services provided, I totally get where you're coming from. And because for us to run training courses, one of our key focus is to get more members. And the last thing we want is for somebody else to be dealing with the students and IMCs get cut off. So, I'm being blunt about it, right? I think there is a situation on whether it's online, face-to-face. For us, it's not about revenue, but it's also about getting more members.
We're trying to drive members to you.
Let me use this slide to jump in, if I may, Mr. Chair of the board. This is just an overview, and it brings different types of training. This is a global training. ISO 20700 training is a global training. It is already delivered worldwide. I don't know how many participants, thousands of participants we already have. It is already a success story related to our very limited resources and tools we are using now. To put that online will gain more presence in the management consulting world. And this presence will be promoted by typical online marketing tools. And if a consultant is looking for, if somebody is looking for management consulting, there is an ad coming up, ISO 20700 training, attend and register, pay using the credit card. This is where the payment system is important. And then it might be a member, it might be a person who is in a country where we have a member institute, like in New Zealand, for example. So if this person is registering, we see, okay, this is in New Zealand. We ask him, are you a member? And then he says no, or she says no. Okay, it costs $200. But if you become a member now, register as a member in IMC New Zealand, it costs $100. So the membership fee for IMC New Zealand is, I don't know what. This person might calculate and say, okay, I'll become a member. This is why this workflow is so important. We need to know who is a member. We need to transfer this to you, to IMC New Zealand. You need to accept this person going back, and this has to be online. And it's not sending via email, so it's an online, fully digitalized process.
And if I may add, Robert, if the person is already a member, then there is the scheme where the IMC would also get part of the income.
Yes, but this training is promoted and delivered fully independent by Services Inc., but in relation with the IMC. This is the example, because an IMC might say, in our country, we have this topic on the plate. We have a specific training for, I don't know, restaurant business owners in the mountains of New Zealand, and maybe this is funded by any organization, and they need to attend this training program, and then they are registered consultants to do these funded projects in the restaurant business in New Zealand. Then you use this column, because then you set up the training yourself, you get all the revenue. There is a management fee from the Services Inc. to assure the quality of the training, because it is presented on the same platform, so that we do have a quality issue. We need to be behind the quality assurance. If one training is lacking of quality, and it might be a problem for all the presented trainings. So that's this revenue stream or type of trainings. That would be the case. You send a mail to whoever is that for the Services Inc., please, this is the training, give us access to the LMS, you set up everything, we do the quality assurance, fine, up to you. You can offer that for free. You still need to pay a little bit money for the quality assurance, but if you want to offer that for free because you want to win new members, it's up to you. And that is a training that is provided by any expert you know. It might be an academic fellow, it might be an honorary member, it might be, I don't know, whoever who says, I would like to set up the training, I would like to use your platform to promote the training. I am a highly educated and experienced management consultant, and you get a certain revenue share as the, connecting institute. We get a revenue share for the quality assurance, and the rest is to this person who sets up the training on his or her risk. We do not do that for free. It has to be clear. But if this person says, okay, I want to do that, I set up the training, I do everything which is necessary, they should make money with it. Services Inc. is a money machine, hopefully, for everybody who is part of this. And there are different types of trainings in that respect. So at the end of the day, but this will take years, to be clear. We can do that more or less immediately, but only where we don't have a member IMC, because if there is a member IMC, we need to have this workflow process fully digitalized. And this is what I was raising in my previous statement, that this is something we need to be aware of.
And if I may add, Robert, the level 3 partner training program, CMCGI already started into looking who could be our partners in countries where we do not have an IMC. And that's why when Robert said we're starting with a few at first who are not within ICMCI's membership, and I mentioned Saudi Arabia and Egypt, actually, we already have agreements with training providers through GI in those countries. So we're trying to pull in knowledge from also countries where we do not have members.
Robert, it's good that you've explained it really well, especially around the expert consultant training programs, because that's something I can sell to my own members, my own academic fellows. Because we had 2, but they left because they didn't see the only contribution was writing articles, and they actually had better, I guess, returns by writing articles in other magazines where, they even get consulting assignments after that. So this avenue is really good, and I think if we have a framework in place, it is very appealing to many of the universities I know in New Zealand. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, Robert. For anyone involved here, may I know how much are we going to invest in this, or is this already like the portal, the LMS? Is it already set up, or are we still going to spend for that? And if we're going to spend, like, how much is the budget for that, and how much are we expecting, like, the revenues, and in order to justify the investment?
Thank you for this question. And that actually, we're talking about a global platform at the end of the day, but with our resources, we are not, well, let me say, too much blessed with with the appropriate resources. But for the time being, we have an agreement with an LMS provider, and he's doing that for free now. But he wants to have a revenue share. He says, okay, he's doing actually for the time being the LMS for the ISO training we do now. And he says, okay, you can use this system, we know the system, but he wants to have a revenue share of, I think it's the 20% line. That's the technical cost for the training. So we don't have fixed cost, we couldn't afford. And the second thing is we do have something like we call program director. And the program director, that's the person who's having the oversight, who's the manager, he's the director for the academy. You know this person, it's Dwight Mihalitz, because he's already doing these trainings. And he says, okay, I don't charge you anything, but I want to have a revenue share in future, and that's this 2% line. So this is our way to start with. We don't have the funds to pay something like, to invent and invest in advance. It would mean that we would need something like $100,000, so at least. I'm sure you know what it costs to set up an LMS and all the training. Andreas, I'm sure you know what it costs. I don't know how much you invested in the Insight. It might be more, but there's some point to start with.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. I have one more question, another question. How about the, once this is set up, this is very good. How about the marketing of this? I mean, who's going to do the marketing? Are we going to spend some money to do the marketing in order to,
Yes, same thing. We need to start small, grow fast. Who is the person? Well, of course, we will need Dwight's know-how about that. He's doing that already. This is why he's in this line. But investing in marketing means paying to guys like Google or whatever. And then we need to have the detailed planning, how much we can afford.
In fact, I can give you a very specific answer to this question. It is the very first line here that will provide the funds that will allow you to market what we are doing.
So the ICMCI share is not a profit. We have opened the discussion. We have finished Greg. It's -2, but Greg, we have to listen to Greg. I'm not cutting you.
All right, thank you. I'm an academic, Board Fellow, and I...
You received the email? You received the email?
What email? No, I've been academic fellow for. Anyway, that's not my point. The point is, as a consultant, we don't like to be called an academic, although I'm an academic. We're problem solvers. So what problem are we trying to solve, okay? So if I may, let me inject. One of my clients, I serve single-family offices. Now, these are the filthy rich who needs help. So what do they want? They need help. And what do we have? We have deep wisdom. We have more than AI, because we can see what AI will hallucinate, and we can actually provide the groundwork. So that's the challenge right now. Now, let's say I provide a solution. You know, we always think in problem solving.
Very good. Yeah.
All right, so I go to my single family office. I said, look, I can allow you access into this Sears database, the world's deep mind of professionals around the world. And that would help you expand your question that you have. What I want from you is $25,000 US, and we'll do 3 round tables for you. Now for that is, change, pocket change. What do we offer? Well, you come to us with a question, right? Then we assign an academic fellow to you to help you understand, go deeper, what is that you want to know? Right? Understand the situation, the opportunity, the difficulty, the action, the expected results that you want. So we prepare you for that amount. Then we set up an international roundtable. And if you allow, you can fly us to Switzerland, fine, but we can do a Zoom. And in the Zoom, right, we're trying to help deepen the understanding of the question and provide very good feedback. Now for that service, of course, fellow gets paid, ICMCI gets some money, but the more interesting is, now in the discussion, because this patriarch is not going to rest, he's going to go deeper. He said, I like you, and I want to engage each of you to provide a deeper expertise, and then ICMCI would take a finder's fee, 15%. Now, how many single-family offices are there? There's about 5,000 single-family around the world. Where are they? They're in Singapore, they're in Hong Kong, they're in the US, they're in Switzerland. And they need the companion of I was inspired by what Nick said. This is one of the oldest professions in the world. And people are willing to pay if we know how to sell. Anyway, I'll shut up.
No, it's obvious that the word that we have used in the past was brokering projects, and this is a first. But coming back to the art of war, any 10,000 miles road start with the first step. So we are at the first step. Then there is no limit actually. If we have people willing to be part of that. And I think what we can offer, it's a bunch of, I'm not afraid to say, brilliant minds, and we like to be together, and we have to attract others, that's all. That's it, I have expended my time with 5 minutes, sorry for that, Mr. Nicholas. Okay. Next year, when I'm asking if you know about Services Inc., everybody hands up, okay? Take care.
Yes. Thank you very much, Sorin.